It's just some things you can't do no more, and some places you can't go no more. Some things you say you can't say anymore.
On Bourbon Street or not, but
Corinthian said this is oil. It's probably big. What is bigger than oil? This thing is diamonds. Like, it's like so massive.
Not gonna do this with y'all. Y'all not gonna. This is cyberbullying, right?
Hey, what's up? What's up, bro?
hey, what's going on, bro? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's another Thursday, and I'm happy to be alive, man.
Yeah, man. Look, we back at it again. Back
Back
at it
at it
again.
again, man. Currently, you got to get your sky. I need an assistant, man, because I'm telling man, I'll be moving in so many
Yeah,
directions.
I know you be moving, man. Since you got them new glasses, it seems like you just moving. Look, you moving.
I'm trying to make them work, man. I did, like I told you last time, I didn't get the anti-glare or
Yeah,
anything like that. So,
yeah,
I'm seeing bright lights everywhere.
exactly. But see, you a rookie. You're a rookie to
Yeah.
wearing glasses. So over time, you'll realize you don't need all that stuff. That's just what they sell to rookies and newbies. Just like remember when you just start college and you're a freshman
Yeah.
and you think you need to get the brand new textbooks and all
Yeah.
you think you need to get everything,
You don't
the
know.
calculator, everything like that. And then by the time you get to junior, senior year, you don't even get the books for the class no more.
I wasted so much money buying the books. I found out I could get a book from my friend. I could get the book I could rent it from
you
the
can
library.
get it from the library. Exactly. See that? Look, for any freshman folks just starting out college and things like that, the majority of colleges and university libraries, they have the textbooks needed for class
Right.
in the library, so
Yeah.
you can check them out.
Yeah.
And,
Just wait. You don't have to be all fancy, because you want to wear your new clothes and you want to have all your books. You want to have your laptop. You want to have everything in order. Come to find out, you wasted all this money.
You're gonna waste it. They get it. They get you every time.
And just for rising college students, that the college cost of college is a estimate of everything that you're going to have. You have direct costs, and then you also have indirect costs. Your direct cost is your tuition. So you won't know your tuition until after you register for classes. You only pay for what you register for. And then your room and board, which dorm you pick, what meal plan you pick. But then you have those indirect costs, like your personal expenses, the transportation fee, and all that stuff. You don't know what that's. You don't know what your personal expenses are going to be. But they kind of figure that for you. So don't worry about that. Just look at your direct costs. And for all those rising college students, I would encourage you to try to take a full-time status. So that means around 15 credit hours a semester. Because if you do 15 a semester, that's 15, that's 30 for the year, 30, 60, 90, 120. You graduate in 4 years, as opposed to, having to do summer school or anything like that. So
Yeah. Look. Please listen to the former admissions officer counselor from ODU that experienced in it. The current access counselor now dropping the jewels. And definitely in this season, you want to be making informed decisions and make the best decision for you, your family, your situation.
Right.
So, the only thing, 2 cents I'll add to that is college is not for everybody, and that is totally okay.
Ooh, I love that.
Totally okay.
Say that again for the people in the back.
College is not for everybody, and that's okay. And I'll also add to that: do not discount your community colleges.
Right.
Do not
Right.
discount getting a trade, getting a skill,
Right.
because I'll say it like this: skills pay bills.
Ooh.
And so, the name of the game, especially with the rising cost of everything, gas prices going up,
Right.
eggs cost more, milk,
Right.
housing costs more, apartments, all of it costs more. All
Inflation
right.
is real, man.
Inflation is real. Higher education is not exempt from that cost as well. Um, the name of the game is, making the best decision for you and your family, you and your
Right.
situation. And if you can graduate with some type of degree or credential with as little to no student loan debt as possible, you are winning. That's the
Ooh.
win.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the true win.
And to be able to win, winners typically have a game plan. I've never seen a team win a basketball game that haven't prepared or planned for it. So in that preparation, you have to figure out, how is it going to affect you long term. And sometimes, and that's a hard pill to swallow, because obviously you want to go. I mean, you want to go to the name school. You want to go to college because everybody says, "Hey, you need to go to college to get this degree." But you gotta factor in and factor out everything, and having just that game plan, even if you don't know the educational piece as far as the classes and stuff, you can still game plan for your life and say, "Okay, well, I know if I have to spend this much money to go to school, how am I going to pay that?" These are just simple questions that you need to ask. How am I going to pay this? Because when you have to get an apartment or when you have to get a car, you got to figure this out. You got to say, how am I going to afford this car? Does the job that I have right now, is it enough to pay for a car that I'm trying to get, the bill that I'm trying to have? Will I be able to afford my cell phone bill, my car note, my rent with the job that I have? And then that's how you have to look at college. When you go to college, the degree that you're going to get, the job that you can get from that degree, is it going to be enough to cover the expenses you had or occurred through college?
Arthur, you bring up a phenomenal point. I would want us to consider this. I would tell any young person, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, okay, the goal of going to college or getting some skills, hopefully you want to be gainfully employed,
Right.
and apply those skills,
Right.
okay? I would submit that we need to start asking our young people to research who is hiring and for what positions are being sought after. So if you think about that, if the end goal is to get employed by somebody, and you think about, let me look and see who is hiring, what positions are being hired, what positions can I look at in any quarter, and this opens them for it. And then think about, well, what skills are needed to get those positions. So it's not going to school saying, I want to do this. This is what I'm passionate about. Okay, passion does play a role into it, but okay, passion don't always pay bills.
Yeah, get you some
Skills pay
passion
bills,
fruit.
like I said.
Passion fruit from
Get you,
the passion.
or get a drink or something like that. You're right. Get a mystic. But so what I'm saying is, what are employers seeking?
Yeah.
What are employers seeking to fill? And if you look at it from that perspective, you'll see there's certain fields that are always going to be in demand. I know people have heard it, time and time again, STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, and math. If you do well and graduate with a credential, you're going to come out with something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You're going to come out with something. Another field with the way things are currently, healthcare. It's always going to be some sick folk.
Right.
There's always going to be some folks have to take care of them. There's always going to be, and then I'll switch to some of the non-traditional or some of the trade routes. There's always going to be a need for electrician,
Yep.
HVAC, plumbing, construction, always. So I think about weighing those out. If you know already you can't stand writing papers 10, 12, 13 pages, why are you saying you want to get a 4-year
Yeah.
degree
Yeah.
in
Sociology.
history, sociology,
Yeah.
those are writing intensive kind
Yeah.
of courses, right? So it's weighing it out. Or you can say, well, what can I do with a 2-year certificate or certification from XYZ university? So I'm spending less time in school. That means less money. I have some kind of credential, but then I'm taking classes geared towards giving me the skills to succeed in that profession right away. So those are things to consider.
Well, and it's the 3 E's, man. Education plus experience equals employment, and so you can't escape one of the E's. So obviously, if you don't want to continue on and have to do the prolonged 4 years of college or vice versa, then obviously you're going to need some experience. So that means you're going to have to start working and start networking so you can get the necessary experience to be able to climb that ladder. And then, but if you have the 2, I mean, it's going to equal employment somewhere. And then hopefully you want that employment to be able to pay for the education that you got. And that's, or if you did it the smart way. And shout out to our niece, Jada, she toured Baylor University this past week, man. So shout out to her.
Yeah, they the part of the Kansas Kellys are down in Waco. Baylor's in Waco, Texas. So they're visiting colleges on spring break. Another thing, when you're talking about going to colleges, if you haven't visited the school, walked on the campus,
don't even talk to me about it, Corinthian. I tell my students, if you come and telling me about all these schools, and I say, have you visited? Have you done a virtual tour? And you tell me no, I'm saying, come on, man.
You're not serious about it.
You're not serious.
You're not serious.
Corinthian, it's 8:00 somewhere. If you just tuning in, thank you for joining us. It's season 2, and that's our 2nd episode. We're excited. We're gonna talk about a lot this season. We got a lot in store for you this season. Corinthian, I was just on your old stumping grounds this past weekend, man.
Oh man, look, hokey high.
Corinthian, I'm talking about the home of the ACC champions, man.
Hey man, look, Arthur, I was so happy. I was so happy, man. I was so happy. You I can't stand. I can't stand Duke.
Corinthian, I despise Corinthian. When I'm telling you, listen, you know who called me the other day? Courtney called me, man. And he was talking about the Duke and the UNC game. And he said, man, I can't believe Coach K did that, man. He was like, he just took the focus off of the celebration and he reprimanded everybody. But I was like, no, Corinthian loved it.
I loved it. No,
what's up, Mike?
But honestly, what I'll say to that point now, even though I cannot stand Duke, I can respect greatness, and Coach K is a great coach, a phenomenal, phenomenal
have
coach.
To agree. I concur.
But you can see it in the result. I mean, you can see it in the results. And what I noticed, he said the loss at the final home game, he said in his speech, it was unacceptable.
Yeah.
And what I took from that is when you were achieving at a high level, you have a standard for yourself and anybody associated with you. And when you don't meet that standard, you hold yourself accountable to that. That is how you succeed. That's how the pattern for success is having that standard of excellence day in, day out, you know. And when I heard him, I was like, man, that's because the alternative is, it's okay.
Yeah.
And if you okay with losing and stuff like that, you're not going to be the winningest coach in NCAA, history.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, man, Corinthian, I for Tech A lot of changes, man, since you were there, man. A lot of
Yeah, man.
changes. But
Yeah.
I took a picture in front of Kelly Hall. You got a building named after you, man.
Hey man, look, that's my story. I'm sticking to
And that's
it,
what,
man.
hey, Corinthian, you
That's
gonna
my
tell,
story.
hey,
I'm sticking to
when
it.
you had your kid children, hey,
We walking
this
right
name,
there. That's where it is. It's spelled the same way. I'll be like, look, I'll be like, y'all see the resemblance.
this the building that your daddy built. Crazy. No, but Corinthian, you enshrined at Tech, man. I went into the course of the cadets dorms. I'm talking about your plaque is up there. Your company won some awards. I was just like, man, that's powerful, man. When you can walk. How many years ago did you graduate?
Wow, man. So I came out of Tech in 2009. So it's over 10 years. I mean, yeah, man.
Man.
That time fly.
Corinthian, man. When you can
flies.
walk back on campus and see your name still there, that's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, man. But this coming from, see, my brother, he get like this, man. But Arthur was the homecoming king
Corinthian, man. That was eons ago,
at
man.
the school. Arthur was the homecoming king at the school with over 20,000 people. I don't know how many people are ODU, but to be the homecoming king. And then didn't for graduation, you was up on the rostrum with the president.
Yeah, okay. I was I Corinthian.
No, you was carrying the mace, Arthur. You was carrying the university
I was
mace.
carrying the mace. Corinthian, here go a story for you. This is a story about my graduation day. Obviously, I was a student ambassador president for Old Dominion in my tenure there. And as student ambassador president, I had the privilege of hosting a couple of events at like senior toast and everything like that. And then for the graduation, President Runta, we were here, we were tight. She asked me to present an award to George Crawley, rest in peace, who was the founder of the 200 plus Black Men. And I was a recipient, and you were too, of the 200 plus Black Men when we were in high school. And more of the story, we were taking pictures with the Board of Visitors before graduation. I'm in the Board of Visitors room, eating pineapples and strawberries and grapes.
The nice food, the food, the catered food.
Yeah, I was all right. I was eating all the plush food, and then drinking the champagne and stuff.
Yeah, the nice stuff. The nice stuff.
We were just mixing and mingling. Well, I had put my cap and gown on the coat hanger. And it was about time to go. We was about to walk because we typically walk from the student union to the convention center. So we about to get ready. And Corinthian, I can't find my cap and I can't find my gown. Somebody that got me for my gown, Corinthian. I said, well, I'm in the room with all doctors. I was like, who needs a
who needs a bachelor's get up?
Who needs a get up? So Corinthian, one of the dean of students, man, Geneva Joe, she said, Arthur, just wear this one. Corinthian. She said, just wear this one. Corinthian.
Arthur, you had on the doctor's Arthur, the only person I know that got his bachelor's in the doctor's regalia.
Corinthian.
You had the regalia with the stripes. I know what you're talking about. No, it's different. It's a whole different getup. It ain't just plain.
But it might be foretelling something. We'll see.
Yeah, look, that it coming. So look, he's already worn the stuff.
I've already worn it.
He's already worn it.
Correct. I got pictures. So if people ask me,
you just go with it. You just go with it. I mean, where's your picture?
Where's your picture?
I look, that thing is heavier than everything else. It ain't lightweight. It's heavier. It's
man. So that was my morning, man. I was like, man, but it was cool. I was like, hey,
man. I went to Um, I went to Daryl's graduation. I went to your graduation, and my little sister Veronica's from Old Dominion University. Phenomenal university. And what they've been doing with that campus is so cool to see. Just how it's grown, you know, since y'all's time there. Wow.
Yeah, man. It's
That's
wow, man. It's just amazing, man. I appreciate the diversity, equity, inclusion piece to what Old Dominion's doing, messaging, everything. So shout out to them, but shout out to Virginia Tech, man. I'm telling they're doing a lot, Corinthian. And what folks don't know was you were a gateway at Virginia Tech.
I would say, yeah. I was a Gateway Scholar.
Gateway Scholar, man.
For Virginia Tech. And what they do, actually to the point that you were making about DEI, they target underrepresented populations to come visit the school prior to. So I had a chance to visit Tech my senior year, spent a couple days and a couple nights there on campus. Right. We had a Gateway chaperone. They paired me with shout out to Ferb. Ferb was from the 757. He was from either Chesapeake or Portsmouth or one of those. So he was the person I shadowed. He was a junior at the time. And I came in and got to kind of see some of the campus and realized that, you know, it's more than one Black person on campus, which is really cool to see, because you can get kind of lost in the sauce. And I know you know that being at a PWI, predominantly white institution. So it was cool to see that they were very intentional about that programming. Yeah. And they're doing some great things there. The coolest thing I had a chance to do after I graduated and was working with Higher Achievement Richmond, we had an opportunity to take some of our scholars back to visit the campus later. And I was a part of meeting with some of the university staff to make that partnership work before I moved over. So they're doing some intentional things to reach back in the community. They have a partnership with the Achievable Dream in downtown Newport News, which is phenomenal. So shout out to what it's doing, man. But it was so cool, you know. My brother sent me some pictures back on campus, and I saw the bookstore. It looked like it looked like the tuition money went somewhere.
It went to good use. Corinthian, tonight, man. Obviously, before we get into a topic at hand, it's March Madness. It's March Madness, and a lot of teams played today. I was in the process of filling out my bracket today, but I missed the time frame. I was going to do a pool at work, and I had typed in everything and submitted it, and it told me that the host is not accepting any more brackets. So I'm a procrastinator. I'm a procrastinator. But I actually have Gonzaga winning this year. For some reason, I got Gonzaga winning, so we'll see what happens.
Man, Arthur, you know what? I have not picked
Mike
a winner.
Said Syracuse. Well, now that what you call it, son gonna be fighting.
Not if he punching people. Not if he punching people, man. not if he punching people. No. But Arthur, I think this year is totally up in the air. I don't think there's any clear-cut team or teams that are head and shoulders above anybody. So it's anyone. I actually think it's not going to be a one seed that wins the whole thing. I don't quite know who, but I don't think it's going to be a one seed, honestly.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So if you have your we got Mike's prediction. If you got predictions, just put them in the chat and we'll shout them out. Corinthian.
Yeah, shout out to Richmond. Did you see the Richmond Spiders?
Yeah, Richmond Spiders. Upset. We got an upset alert.
Upset already. So I was happy to see that.
Corinthian, fear of success is just as crippling as fear of failure. Corinthian, what is your greatest fear?
Wow.
And if you don't want to answer that, what motivates you?
Wow. Okay. So I didn't know you was gonna read that quote. Where did you get that quote from?
Corinthian,
You
I'm
stuff.
not an avid reader.
Yeah.
You got to catch me like the ice cream truck. Come on,
just having it look.
just come on
Just
by.
yeah. Just had a Chiron. I got you. Yeah. I got you. So, the reason I asked that, so my biggest fear for a long time was a fear of failure. That was that that was that was and is actually to this day my biggest fear, failure.
Well,
And
that's mine too. And I
yeah,
guess growing up in the same room for over close to 18 years, that's probably our biggest. But why is failure your biggest fear?
well, it's my biggest fear, and it's also my biggest motivator.
Ooh,
Because you know, we were, I would say, growing up, we knew that we were different. All of us knew that we
right.
were different from the environment that
I'm
we were in.
different. Yes, I'm
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
Okay.
And so I guess the fear of failure, the fear of not living up to my fullest potential, or not accomplishing everything that I would want to accomplish, and know that I am blessed enough to accomplish, have the capability, the faculty to do. So,
Wow. I know. I
yeah.
love. Okay. Correct. I think the reason why I think failure is my biggest fear
Mm-hmm.
is because I feel like I don't measure up.
Mm.
Ooh, measuring up.
Don't measure up. Okay.
I don't measure up to. You hear that the statement or the quote. Comparison is the thief of all joy.
Yeah.
But you have to have something to strive for. Obviously, as a coach, you're striving to win a game. You're striving to win a championship. In life, you're striving to obtain something, or whether it be a degree or a position. So failure to me feels like I didn't measure up to what was required. And that's where I'm scared to fail. I'm scared to fail. But like you said, in that it motivates me.
Yeah.
And you can hear the quote all the time, there's nothing to fear but fear itself.
Yeah. So yeah.
But it motivates me, but I'm really scared that somebody's gonna look at me and be like, he wasn't enough.
So, Arthur, to that, so I have a question for you then. When you say measure up, okay, what is your measuring stick? What are you measuring things off of? That's my question to you. I'm curious.
Well, am I measuring something? That's a good question. What am I trying to measure up to?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Something in my mind.
Okay.
It's something that I have, and that is, I guess, the self-doubt.
Yeah.
That am I good enough?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think I'm scared of. So I don't know if I'm saying this the right way, that I'm scared to fail, or am I more so scared that somebody is going to see that I'm not good enough?
Okay. So now I'm not as well versed in this as my wife is. My wife. Shout out to my lovely wife, Dr. Latasha Ely Kelly.
Shout out.
Because she could teach about this and all that kind of stuff.
Shout out to Millennial Black Professor.
Yep.
Podcast. Go check it out.
So my wife talks about a concept called imposter syndrome.
And
and
thanks, Mr.
Appreciate that. And that can manifest in a lot of different ways where you have self-doubt, feeling that you're not good enough to be in a room or capable enough as everyone else. Now, I will say that I don't think I really have imposter syndrome. I am very confident in my ability. I'll say this. I know this about me now. I wasn't always as confident as I am now, but I would say 35-year-old me is very confident in the knowledge, skills, and abilities that I possess at this time. And I know that I can and will be an asset anywhere. You can drop me in anywhere, any situation, and I can bring something to the table. I know it.
Wow.
Just off the way I think, just based off of how my skill set is. I know what my strengths are, so I try to operate based off my strengths. And I'll say to the viewing audience, it is very good to know your strengths. It is very good to know your strengths because you could be operating in a space where you're not utilizing your strengths. And when you're not utilizing your strengths, it can be a grind. It can be very, very frustrating. So my strengths, what I encourage people to look at is there's a couple of different tools. One called Strength Finders. Now, if you're ever in a HR kind of setting, there's Strength Finders assessment that you can take. I took one years ago and took one and retook one within the past year and a half. And my top 5 strengths are consistent and they speak to me. And I know that's me. I know anytime I'm trying to speak about myself for a job or anything like that, I tap into that. In my top 5 strengths, one of them is being strategic. One of them is being analytical.
Wow. Yeah.
One is providing input. One is I like context, or I like to understand how processes work. And the other one is consistency. So those are my top 5 strengths.
Love it.
I use that as the basis when I'm not even trying to sell myself. I'm just telling that's me. That's how I think.
Yeah.
So when you have that, it gives you a confidence when you can speak to what your strengths are. And trust me, there are strengths that I wish I had.
Yeah.
And recognizing what my strengths are, it also makes me in tune of the strengths that other people possess. That means when I'm not strong in the area, I say that's a person I need to pair up and partner with because I know they're skilled at this. So it helps me in both ways. Recognize what I'm strong at, and then realizing where my weaknesses are or where I'm deficient, and how can I fill that gap using some of the other talent around me, if that makes any sense.
No, Corinthian, I love that, and the very fact that you can recall all your strengths is amazing, because I also took the same strength.
It's escaping you. You said it's escaping you right now.
It's just, it's like the ice cream truck. It came and went. Mike said a couple of things. Success is a consequence of effectiveness. TD Jake said that. Oh man,
I like that.
But he also posed a question for us, Corinthian. What is failure to you, and what is success? And it's I find it hard to answer because I can't come up with the words. And oftentimes I had to do this because sometimes I had trouble with what to pray for. I had trouble in finding the words to say to what I needed, what I desired, what I wanted. Because, and honestly, I didn't know what kind of success I wanted to have. And Corinthian, somebody told me one day, they said, just say the ABCs. God can put all those letters, those 26 letters of the alphabet together and form your words. And Corinthian, I honestly, so I'm looking right now. Obviously, there are so many things that you can do. Vision boards,
Yeah.
so many goal sheets that you can do
Yeah.
to figure out what kind of success you want to have in life.
Yeah.
But what is success? When does
Yeah.
someone know that they are successful? And
Yeah.
obviously, the scriptures say the poor you're gonna have with you always. Does that
Yeah.
mean that poor people can be successful? Does that
Yep.
mean that every rich person is successful?
Yeah.
What is true success? And somebody could comment on that. And Corinthian, I know
Yeah.
you got some.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, those are great questions, and I love how you phrase that. Okay. I'll define it for me. Okay. Failure for me would be being the same Corinthian today,
Ooh,
2 years later.
ooh,
Okay.
yeah,
Not making positive steps forward would be a failure to me. So if I'm doing the same stuff that I'm doing today, 2 years from now, that's failure. That's not making progress. So all I don't want perfection. I just want progress. I want positive movement forward. Anything outside of that staying stagnant would be failure to me. That's how I'm
there we
defining
go.
it now.
Love
Now,
it.
10 years ago, it was different. 10 years ago, it was not having gainful employment. That was failure. And now it's changed because I've matured some.
Right.
I would also say success has shifted for me as well. Okay. Success is not external things. I measure my success
Ooh,
now in terms of the relationships that I have, one with God, one with my family, with my lovely wife. If those are positive and moving forward and we're growing and flourishing and feeding me, that's success. Because if I base it off of monetary stuff. So, for example, I'll give this example. Kanye West, by a monetary standard, is a very successful person.
ooh, ooh,
Now, does anything that he's doing seem that he has peace of mind, or you see what I'm saying?
yeah,
So if
yeah,
we measuring success off of external things, you can get all that stuff and be miserable. And then on the flip side, I've seen people dead broke that have joy and have a peace and are
yeah.
pleasant, in spite of their circumstances. So it can't be external things give you happiness. You have to be comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah,
You also have to have a relationship with God. In my opinion, you got to have a
correct.
relationship with God, because it really puts things into perspective when you do, you know. And what I'm saying is it's progress, not perfection. So I measure success if I am moving forward. If 5 months from now I'm progressing in this goal, that's success to me. If that makes any sense.
Corinthian, Mr. Harrison said, success is achieving your goals, big or small.
Mm-hmm.
Ariel, she said, better and better, growing.
Yeah.
Um, something when you were talking about successful, sometimes the most successful person isn't the loudest person in the room. You know, you can they have such an aurora that they're pleasant,
Yeah.
they're nice,
Yep.
they customer service, they know how to
Yep.
speak to you,
Yep.
and they might not have all the money, but like
Yeah.
you were saying, Corinthian, they have peace of mind.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think the greatest success is having a peace that surpasses all understanding, where when
Mm-hmm.
something you don't think is going your way,
Yeah.
and you still peaceful, you're successful.
Mm-hmm.
When you are not pulling your hair out, when you aren't trying to rob a bank because you couldn't come up with the money, and you still have a peace and you still have a joy about you, you are successful. And wow, Chris, that was just a message within itself. And it just
Mm-hmm.
reminds me of when you reach the end of your rope, tie a
Yeah.
knot in it and hold on,
Hold on.
because
Mm-hmm.
help is always going to be on the way. So,
Mm-hmm.
man, do we have to get the blind? Do we have to put the blinders up? Do we have to stay in our lane? I'm looking at if we're running in this race called life.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. And we all have our lanes 1 through 8, whatever lane you in. I can't lose focus on what God has for me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be peering over into the other lane to see where they're at.
Yeah.
And I heard somebody tell me one time, Michael Phelps said this, that he does not look at his competitors because the moment he turns to look is he loses seconds in his race. So we we have to keep these blinders up while we're on this road to success?
See, I love that. I love what Michael Phelps said, because in his statement, the proof is in the pudding. That's the most decorated, Olympian in the water. And to me, I was going to say, your biggest competition is yourself.
Ooh.
You are trying to compete with yourself and become the best possible version of you each day. That's your competition. You can't do that comparing yourself to other people. Other people are not your measuring stick, right? So I am not
brings it back to what you were asking me earlier. Yeah, other people are not your measuring stick. Wow.
They're not. They can't be, because you got to realize what I'm realizing now as I've gotten a little bit older. Certain people have been blessed and graced with an ability. So there's some people that have ability for this, that they've been graced and blessed with the ability to do that and do it well. And when you've been graced with the ability to do something, it should be easy for you, right? So there's some people, let's use this example, people that can sing. It's some people that it's very easy for them to sing like a songbird because they've been graced with the ability to do that. When you haven't been graced with the ability to do that, and you're working at it and things like that, and then you're measuring and comparing and saying this person is farther along than me, you might be operating outside of what your gift is. Wow. You see what I'm saying? So, there's a piece that comes with understanding that, right? I'll give this example with me and you, where this is why, it's crazy how life happens. And, when you mature and get a better understanding of stuff, how everything works out in the end.
Right.
So I want to tell everybody that's listening, me and my brothers, and my sister siblings wise, we didn't grow up really competing against each other. Like, we weren't pitted against each other in a way. Right. Where I have heard some horror stories of some people competing, you ain't do this like your brother and stuff like that. And that puts a lot of undue pressure. We didn't get that from our parents. We happened to be in the same setting in Jet.
Yeah.
Right. And I remember Jet vividly because I think you were a sophomore in Jet and I was a freshman in Jet, or when we first started out. And I remember the first week of Jet, my brother, within that week, our first weekend at Jet, Arthur had solidified himself as the person to come to in Jet. Arthur was the man in Jet. Period. After the first week, right? After the first weekend. And and for the first time, I felt a jealousy because I'm like, man, I live in the same room as this dude. I know this guy, right? How is he doing this so easily, right? And Arthur, you was just being yourself. You was just letting your light shine. That was you, right? And it showed me that you were graced with the ability just by being who you naturally were. Social skills, communication skills, that was easy for you. You were operating in that. It was easy. And from there, I had to realize what my strengths were and operate in them. I could not try to do what you was doing.
Wow.
Because you weren't trying to do what you was doing. You was just doing it because that's who you were.
Wow.
I had to figure out what my niche was. And I eventually did. I knew my niche was doing some research, doing current events, presenting in that way. So by the time the year goes around and they giving out awards. I believe that first year we both got some awards, right?
Yeah.
But we got awards because we were operating in our strengths
we
and
stayed
abilities.
in our lane.
You gotta stay in your lane.
Oh, Corinthian.
You gotta stay in your lane.
Oh wow, Coach. Mr. Harrison said he worked with Jet and Coach Rhodes. Listen, we trying to get both of y'all on this season. Both of you have been so instrumental in our lives. Shout out to Coach Don Rhodes who put us on the map, and if everybody is trying to understand what we're talking about, we were in JET, Job Education Training, at Hampton University. Sherry said, "Please stay in your lane."
So true.
And it was originally a program started. William Harvey, President Harvey, came to Coach Rhodes and wanted to start this program. It in a sense, it was for at-risk youth.
Absolutely.
Within the cities of Newport News, Hampton, and Norfolk, and Portsmouth. But it obviously we were at risk. Daryl got it at first. Somebody had to pray for him because Daryl was on the path to
Daryl was at risk.
He was at risk youth.
Daryl was at risk.
And he needed a program like this.
Yep. But what I'll say to Arthur's point, JET course for Job Education Training Corps. And what it did for folks from Timberwoods, Warwick Lines, Denby, it exposed us to a whole world outside of uptown Newport News. Yeah, so Daryl's first internship, so JET, in addition to classes, were job skills, and we went to a work site 2 days a week during the summer.
Yeah.
Like went to the work site, right? Yeah. Daryl's work site happened to be the City of Newport News Waterworks Engineering Division.
Yeah.
So when you get exposed to that, when you 15, it's eye-opening because we didn't grow up around no engineers.
No.
We didn't even know that was a profession. No. You know what I'm saying? Unless you got some in your family or stuff like that, you're almost, you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. Because of that, Daryl initially wasn't thinking about college. After JET, Daryl says he's going to Old Dominion University to major in engineering.
Right.
And that's what he did.
That's what he did. Yeah.
And then what that did for us, it shaped, by us helping Daryl move in, his first year to Whitehurst, we saying, oh yeah, okay. Yeah. And once we see all the girls,
okay. Yeah, oh yeah.
My wife might be tapping.
Yeah, correct. We got let's move.
We'll move it.
Ice cream truck.
Exposure.
But listen. No, Corinthian, that man, you bringing back some memories, Corinthian. Because of him, we wanted to follow him. Now, when we talk about measuring stick, we weren't trying to compete with him.
No.
But we wanted to measure up. Yeah. And we wanted to line up. Now, again, we were never pitted against each other, but just like you said on that first week of JET, where you saw that I was operating in my ski-low, doing my thing, moving and shaking.
I couldn't believe it. I was going.
You said you had to put some polysyllabic words together.
Oh man, I had to go back in the lab. I had to go back in the lab. Yep. Had to go back in the lab.
Oh man, no, but shout out everybody that we met through JET and Corinthian. For the people that didn't know, Corinthian, JET helped us out so much. We wanted to be a blessing to JET. We started a book scholarship for JET students after we graduated from college. Corinthian, that's how much JET inspired us, and the program, just the program in itself, and I mean sharp, tight, and
crisp.
We're never going to forget this. This model of excellence.
and to that point, when you said you were back at Virginia Tech, so I did ROTC at Virginia Tech. My first exposure to ROTC stuff was through Jet.
Yeah.
So I came in ready, for certain things because of what I learned in Jet, because we didn't grow up around folks that went into the service or knew what ROTC was. So that was my first exposure to it. So I knew that was an avenue or a lane that I could pursue, So, just going back, just underscoring the importance of exposure, one of it's a statement. If you can see it, you can be it.
Ooh,
right?
ooh.
And one thing that Jet did for us, we got to see, man, it's people that wear a shirt and tie, to work. So.
Okay, Corinthian, man. I just went down memory lane talking about that and how that has impacted our lives, and in a lot of cases, I think it's why or propelled us to do what we do.
Wow, I don't know where Arthur went.
Corinthian, they trying to see.
They trying to tap it. Look, they saw it was too powerful.
It's Daryl. Don't worry, Daryl.
It was too powerful. We was dropping too many jewels. That's what happened, man.
I'm gonna stay in my lane, man. I'm gonna stay in my lane. Listen, hey, we got a couple more minutes anyway. But Corinthian, the success pieces. What motivates you, man? Corinthian, I tell folks, and I'm not lying, and I'm not boasting or trying to brag on my brother or anything like that. And this is out of love. And Corinthian Gillis Kelly,
you put the full government out there,
is one of the smartest people I have ever met in my life. And he's humble about it, which is great, because I've been around some people that I'm like, okay, all right, but he's humble about it, but it motivates me to do better. And when your little brother can motivate you to do better, I mean, that's life, because sometimes you got to say, hey man, I got to do some things different. Yeah. And I want to say you do that for me, man. So I'm proud of my family. But I gotta give props where props is due. I'm talking about in the field of consulting and managerial leadership, anything. I mean, this is that guy, and I'm so glad that y'all are able to hear him in this platform, in this space. And again, if you're doing your thing, shout out to you too. But I want to tell you, he got a message, and he got a lot of things to say. I think that you can take from.
Well, I appreciate that, Big
No
Brad.
problem, man.
I appreciate that so much. But this is the thing I appreciate about my family, my upbringing, and everything like that. The statement, iron sharpens iron.
Ooh.
So, when you grow up in the same room with somebody, you see, you get to know folk real well.
Yeah.
You grew up in tight quarters, right?
Yeah.
So, a thing that motivates me is Daryl Anderson Kelly Jr. and Arthur Baylor Kelly and my little sister Veronica Jean Kelly. They motivate me. My parents motivate me. Making a good name for the Kellys, give an honor to my parents, the legacy they have set, the foundation they have set, wanting to make them proud. That's what motivates me. But it is awesome to see when you can follow a path that has been trailblazed by, your siblings, your brothers, right? So I have been following in the footsteps of both of my older brothers for 35 years. I'm 35. I turned 36 a little later this
You do have a
birthday
this month, man.
Man, it's crazy, man. Time fly, man. Hey,
trying
can
to
you
go to New
believe?
Orleans?
Look,
Oh, God.
hey, look, we'll talk offline.
That's
Look, we'll talk offline, man. Because that time we was in,
let's stay in our lane.
Stay in the lane, focus,
Let's
man.
stay in the lane.
Man, I'm gonna edit out certain parts of this, man. but no, seriously, all seriousness though, you know, I went to college because Daryl and Arthur went to college. You know, I have been in the presence of my brothers, and Arthur, be modest, I knew Arthur was one of the best speakers I had ever heard in Jet Corps. When I saw Arthur wrote a graduation speech on a napkin. 15 minutes before the speech, Arthur wrote it on a napkin and had kids coming up saying, "That's the best." I'm so inspired by this. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, do you know he just made that?
Crazy. I almost wiped it off when I was sweating.
You know, so that's honestly that's motivation, and those are the kind of packs that you should run in. If you're running in a circle where you aren't being pushed, you don't want to strive, you in the wrong circle, because if you stay there, you'll remain stagnant. So I want to be in circles where people not only doing what I'm doing, I want to be in circles where people are operating at a higher level than I am, because then you start picking up good habits. You start noticing where I need to do better. All the I mean, you think I'm smart, but I'm trying to be in the super smart people, because some of the habits they have is they read insatiably. You know what I'm saying?
you see what we got to do.
This will be bringing us back. We're trying to do better. Hey, she just can't let us just talk.
That'd be great. Sherry talking about, I'm with Kid, I'm with you, Kid. That'd be great.
We tried to strive.
Corinthian, man, listen, Pastor KT, I just started going back to church, man. We said we was going back in March. I'm gonna tell the folks, I'm gonna be honest. I hadn't been physically back in the building for 2 years. For 2 years.
That's terrible, man.
Hey, listen. I was watching online, but Pastor KT, he said something. He said his son Mark, he just started wrestling, and he had a wrestling match on that Sunday. Mm-hmm. And he said Mark had 2 matches, but he lost both matches. Mm-hmm. And he said, don't worry, it's okay. He said one of Mark's wrestling mates came up to him and said, "Mark, how you feel?" Mark was a little upset that he lost. And he said, "Well, did you learn something?" Mm-hmm. And KT finished it up and said, he said, "You only lose if you didn't learn anything." Mm. So if my greatest fear is failure, I only lose if I don't learn anything.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to learn this, and I'm trying to learn this game of life, or the do's and don'ts, the mistakes, the patterns, the things that can make me better, so I can be a better husband, I can be a better father, I can be a better brother, a better son, a better coworker, a better employee, a better podcast host. I might say too much. I don't know. Yeah. Now, again, I don't care because it's my show, but I might be doing that. Somebody might be turned off because I'm laughing too much. I might be saying too much. And you got to learn this in this process. So you only lose if you don't learn anything. And so I guess, we can turn our failures into success.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
Corinthian, man,
that was a great way to sum that up.
Oh, yeah. we all need to learn, the young and older. You're correct. Thank y'all. Hey, anybody else have a greatest fear? Greatest fear? Anybody? They see Kia and Sherry having a side convo.
This is not what that's for. Yeah. This is not what this platform is for. We talk about serious subjects. It's always that
quantum physics.
Yeah.
What you got going on this weekend, man?
Actually, man, this is gonna be a rest weekend. Okay. Going to go to the gym. Me and my wife started going to the YMCA. We got a YMCA membership, so we're gonna go. That's one of our couples outings, and
that's awesome, man.
So we're trying to consistently do some good habits. So that's one of them. Trying to be intentional, a little bit more intentional.
I love that.
Yep.
Intentionality.
Yeah, what about you?
Corinthian, it's Thing One's birthday on the 20th. So Baylor's birthday is on Sunday, and Blake's was this past weekend. So we got to prepare for that, and he got baseball and all that.
So now Blake just turned 6, correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
man.
and Baylor is turning
8.
Is he? Baylor's turning 8.
Yeah, they're 2 years apart. Exactly 2 years in a
Oh my goodness, man! It's scary, man. How that
same to you,
flies.
Mr. Harrison. Yeah,
It's
man.
scary.
I can't
It's
believe
scary.
it, Corinthian. Can't believe it.
It's scary, man. Like Daryl, Jackie, and the kids again are down at visiting Baylor University because Jada, our oldest niece, she about to be a senior in high school, which is
Corinthian, don't you see, man? You aging us, man.
it's crazy, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy,
man.
Listen, everybody. I want to appreciate y'all for tuning in with us tonight as we talked about failure and our greatest fear. And pretty much the sum of the matter is just stay in your lane. Keep pushing. Whatever you're good at, keep perfecting it.
Mm-hmm.
And great things are going to come.
Yep.
So I challenge everyone that if you listen tonight, write down, what am I afraid of? And let's conquer these fears with productivity and with work and with stick-to-itiveness and all of that. So Corinthian, man, hey man, I appreciate you, man.
Oh man, likewise. Until next time, we're gonna keep swinging.
We're gonna keep swinging, man. Just keep swinging. We'll be back next week, everybody. We don't know if it's gonna be 8:00 Eastern Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, 8:00 Midwest time.
Pacific. When they say specific instead of Pacific.
That's a pet. We're gonna talk about pet peeves.
That's what we're gonna talk about. Pacific time.
But we're gonna get out y'all here. Thanks for tuning in tonight, guys. We love you and see you later.
Yes, sir.
Boy.
It's just some things you can't do no more. And some places you can't go no more. Some things you say you can't say anymore.
On Bourbon Street or not. But
Corinthian said this is oil. It's probably big. What is bigger than oil? This thing is diamonds. Like, it's like so massive.
Not gonna do this with y'all. Y'all not gonna. This is cyberbullying.